the GEEK Files. 2026, March 18th, Burnaby. White Horse Air Maintenance, spring, summer of 88. So, my maternal grandfather actually served in the trenches of Ypres in World War One. He was a delivery man for this CNR in Woodstock, my hometown. And he started with horses and then transitioned to Ford model something trucks. So yeah. And, saw men walk on the moon. So phenomenal changes in his life. But like everyone who sees war, it changed him somehow. It really did. And so one of the things he told me is, you don't have to be nice to rude people. You don't have to be rude to them, but you don't have to be nice to them either. And it's a piece of advice that I've carried for a long time. So basically what I do is like if I figure you've treated me harshly, I'm not going to go out of my way to be friends with you. If we meet in the street, I am not going to say hi. I'll just walk by you because I don't need you in my life. I don't need stupid people in my life. Well, not stupid people, but I don't need rude people in my life. So after what happened at Summit Air with Jimmy Tate and Justin Rogers, I had no time for them. I wasn't rude or ignorant to them, but just stay away from me. I've got nothing to say for you. I don't want you in my life. I don't need people like that in my life. So there I am. I can't remember what the hotel was. There I'm in the bar of the hotel, quietly drinking a beer. And these two walk in, and I just ignore them, which for some reason I guess pissed them off. So all of a sudden they wind up at my table with a beer in hand. And I don't remember who said it, but they said, well, we should really, we'll buy you beer if you'll really let bygones be bygones. And I'm going and I'm thinking where did these fools come from? And it probably, I've got a bit of a potty mouth, so I probably told them to take their beer and foxtrot Oscar and leave me alone. Not interested in being anywhere close to them. And they took off, and I finished my beer, enjoyed the night. I don't remember what happened to them. Enjoyed the band, and came out. And my truck was sitting on 4 flats. And whoever had, how the tires were flat, they weren't even just, the sidewalls were cut, but it wasn't just a slash, it was a U-shaped slash. So they were like junk. All 4. I prefer to run, 6 and 10 ply bias tires, heavy lug bias tires in my trucks. Better for mud and snow, getting through that. So it was expensive. This was going to be an expensive touch. I don't remember how I got home. The truck had to be towed to the tire shop. So not cheap. So I did, when I saw this, I immediately called went in the bar, called the cops, and the cops came and they looked it over, and yes, this is obviously vandalism. They asked me if I thought I knew who it does, and I told them, I said, I never saw anybody, but this happened, a couple hours before I came out. This interaction with Tate and Rogers. And so I figured nothing will ever happen about it. So there I am, about a month later, working on stuff. So how I arranged my toolbox, because you're moving around aircraft all over the places. I had a roll cab without a top on it, and then put a piece of plywood on top. So I had a bench to work on. I had a mobile bench with all my tools in it. So I'm sitting there out in the middle of this hangar working on some piece of aircraft. I don't remember what it was. And all of a sudden, Rogers comes walking in and hands me an envelope. And then walks out. And I open it up, and it's a check for the tires. Apparently, the cops showed up. I heard, allegedly, the cops showed up, and Rogers carried a buck knife on his hip. I'm cool, I've got a buck knife on my hip. And the cops took the buck knife, and I don't know whether he just fessed up at the time, or there was some sort of reasonable suspicion, or there was still rubber on the buck knife. But apparently he wound up in front of a judge and had to pay, was found guilty and had to pay restitution. And so I got my money back. I was really, really surprised at that. Pleased, because even then you're not making much money. I wasn't making much money. And so whatever, 88, like the $500 for 6-ply heavy lug ply tires was, that's a touch. Yeah. Shocking. I was just shocked. I can remember the faces of Dave and Paul as in walks Rogers across the hangar floor right to me, and they're just going oh, this is going to be good. No, it was just a check. Yeah. Making appropriate life decisions. You don't make any money, but you get good stories.